been a while since we've done one of these videos. Or any videos. Well, as for Candy Jack's Toy Box, which is what this is, I have not done a video in a little over a year. I think it was January of last year. Because I kind of told myself, I think I'm done collecting toys. I think that part of my life is over. I've been through a lot of weird mental space over really the past, it feels like, decade. Mental warfare to that degree of like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do all the things I enjoy in life. I don't want to do that anymore. It's been pretty weird, but I kind of just feel like I went into a cocoon where I went through a metamorphosis and then basically came out exactly the same, like nothing's changed. Maybe a little more gay. But the point is, I sort of come back to my senses and I'm like, no, I love collecting toys. It's just in my DNA at this point. I did unfortunately sell some stuff over the past few years that I now regret. I've managed to kind of reclaim some of these items, but some of them it might take a while. Let's not worry about all that right now. That's irrelevant, especially if this is your first video in this series, and then you're just like, whoa, I did not sign up for any of that. This is nonsense. I need to get out of here, man. Well, don't leave yet, because I gotta show you what we're talking about today. Today we are going to be talking about some of the toys from the 1989 Beetlejuice action figure line.
Yahoo, it's me, Beetlejuice!
This is one of those unusual lines that it's based on a movie that was not for children, but it got a toy line for children. And let's just make it perfectly clear, nowadays, if an adult movie comes out, it might get collector action figures for adults. NECA, McFarlane, stuff like that. You know, it's adult-oriented action figures for the collector market, so it makes sense. But back in the 80s, that didn't really exist yet, so they would... And Beetlejuice isn't R-rated. I think it was actually PG, but it was like an 80s PG, which technically means it's more like PG-13 by today's standards. Point being, it really wasn't appropriate for kids. It had like some bad language, some dirty jokes, whatever. I watched it when I was a kid all the time, and look at me. Now, I don't think this toy line had the level of controversy that the Max Effects Freddy Krueger toy had.
Hey, Fred! Thought you were dead!
So that's good, I guess. But what I have here today, I'll show you this one really quick. This is just one of the standard figures. This figure has the kind of, I don't know what you call, like the Ferris wheel head.
Attention, Kmart shoppers!
During one scene in the movie, but the head pops off. A lot of the figures from this line had this gimmick of removing the head, and then there's a tiny head underneath, and this little lever makes it jump up and down. You put the head back on and have it do that. Pretty simple but effective. But if you get the red suit Beetlejuice from like the wedding scene, got the red suit on, you can pop his head off and switch it with this one, and then you can get the classic striped suit Beetlejuice with the normal head, basically. So it kind of encourages you to get both figures to create the classic looking Beetlejuice. Now, the other toy that I have from this line is one of the play sets. This is the Vanishing Crypt play set. It has the Here Lies Beetlejuice, the tombstone, which for an 80s toy, this is a pretty good representation of that tombstone from the movie. It's got the skeletons and all that around it. Not bad. The colors are obviously a little simplistic. It's just kind of purple plastic, and it looks like they did a quick airbrush of green, but it creates a pretty cool effect. The more you look at all this, the more you can see all of like just the sculpting details. It's wonderful. All the bugs, the worms, spiders. Pretty great. Unless I'm mistaken, the action figure that I have is complete. He comes with one accessory, which is this little Beetlejuice snake right here. This, however, is missing a few pieces. One is a little tiny, like maybe like not even an inch tall figure of Beetlejuice. Then there's supposed to be a post with like you remember the lighted sign pointing to the tombstone? Basically, that's supposed to be coming out of here, and you're supposed to move it for the action feature related to this. I've checked on eBay, and it looks like a lot of these things are missing the sign that comes out of the side. And again, if you're trying to use the action feature, it is kind of important to have that. I managed to make a makeshift version. This is just a piece of wire. You know, I kind of like twisted the end into a little handle so I could hold it, and then you stick it in here. You kind of have to look in. I'll demonstrate all of this, and you can see what I mean. Anybody can make one of these if you have like a piece of wire or a stick that'll fit in there. It allows you to properly utilize the action feature without the missing piece. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So first what you do is you open it up like this. Then you take your figure. I think pretty much any standard Beetlejuice figure from the line will work with this. As long as you can fit it in this little space right there, then you shut it. Now here's where we have to use our little makeshift accessory here. If I had the little piece that went here, you would kind of like, it's kind of like a switch sort of, but we don't have that. So you kind of have to look in here. There's a little, you can kind of see it, there's a little spot. Like there's a little square hole basically. You stick that into, and then, you know, it's not gonna work perfect, but, oh, where'd he go? All that's in here is our little tiny snake Beetlejuice. This is basically, if you had the little tiny figure of Beetlejuice that comes with it, he would be in there, but since I don't have that, you can just use whatever. Or you could just have nothing in there. You could, like, we'll shut it again. There he is. Stick that back in there, and, oh, now there's nothing in there. So that's pretty cool. Basically, see, it's a little kind of just a trapdoor, basically like a little magic trick. And I'll show you in case you want to get one of these and you don't have the sign. This little hole right here. That's where you stick the little pin into, if you have to, you know, make your own. So you can kind of see it through there. Stick it in there like that, and voila. They're also pretty inexpensive on eBay, so I spent 15 bucks shipping and all for all of this together. The figure, the playset, all came together. It was about 15 bucks, so that seems to be the average price on eBay too. If you find one that's complete, they cost maybe just a little bit more, but not even a lot more. Like maybe you're spending like 20 bucks now, I don't know. So that was the Beetlejuice Vanishing Crypt set. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. I intend to keep this going to make more Candy Jack's Toy Box videos. I have a few more things queued up that I plan to make videos about, maybe on a weekly basis. And if you're also interested, eventually the Hair-Raising Flick series will get kickstarted again, probably in June. I kind of like to start that in June. It's kind of a seasonal thing for me. So June all the way into October. Unless my plan goes horribly wrong. We'll see what happens. I'm out of breath.